Hey everyone, and thank you for coming back to the BNS channel. So today I'm going to be doing a follow-up video on fundraising. I had put a video up, oh gosh, quite a few months back in regards to doing fundraisers, and I get a lot of questions on it. So I feel that I need to button up some of the loose ends as far as information that I provided. And also I'm going to put links to either one, because I had one for Fundraising 101 as well as putting together fundraising packets. So I'm going to put links to both of those there as well so that you can go back and look at those. But what I want to address are a few details. Now, some of this is going to be related to being a direct sales consultant or representative for any company. And some of this is going to be specific to Scentsy and Velada. So, the first question that I get often is, how do you approach companies, organizations, or businesses? Or how do you find those things to do the fundraisers in the first place? So what I'm going to tell you is the first place that you should always check in your town is the Chamber of Commerce. The Chamber of Commerce actually provides and holds a lot of information in regards to your local organizations, events, that sort of thing. So if you're looking for benefits or that sort of thing, check with the Chamber of Commerce. They're also, by the way, good for finding fairs and expos, so just FYI there. When you're dealing with fundraising, the first question you want to ask yourself is, when you started your business, you did a list of 100. Now, a list of 100 people is good for your independent sales. Well, if you make, let's say you even do a list of 50 or 40, make a list of organizations or clubs or teams in your area. Now, I'm talking about cheerleading, basketball, soccer, football, hockey, field hockey, any kind of those teams, okay? So that would be anything inside of the local schools. Now, sometimes you have more than one high school. You can have your elementary schools, your grammar schools, junior highs, that sort of thing. There might be private schools near you. So think about the schools. And when you're going to approach them, just go into the main office. Tell them that you're there because you want to help the local organizations raise money. And we're wondering if you could be put in contact with the organizational heads or people in charge of the organizations. Now, to go along with the schools is each class, meaning like the freshman class, the junior class, senior class, sophomore class, they all have a, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, head of. But like a teacher will take charge of that class and their fundraising efforts. So to be put in front of those people would be ideal. So you know that every class is raising money towards their senior year so that they can have some kind of a project graduation. So they're doing fundraising all through their high school. So you want to find out who those people are and make sure that you get in front of them. So I know a lot of people do letters. I'm not a big letter person. And the reason that I'm not a big letter person is because I really feel that you get better attention, better retention of who you are, as well as a better reaction when you do face-to-face, or even a phone call. A phone call would be okay. But I don't do anything with letters, with texting. I guess I'm old-fashioned in that sense, but I really feel that people appreciate the face-to-face or the voice-to-voice communication. So that's the way I do it. So don't ask me for letters or anything like that, because I don't use them. I know they exist. I know they're out there, but again, I don't use them. So, okay. So pick up the phone, call your schools, and find out the clubs and organizations within the school. Now, you also have things like your churches. Obviously, there are different denominations. So there are different churches, and whatever you want to support is totally up to you. But I would also contact the churches. There's all kinds of fundraising efforts for fire departments, for police departments, anybody that, or not necessarily police departments so much as fire departments, because a lot of those are voluntary. Any animal shelters, they always are looking for ways to raise funds. The best way to go to somebody and ask is to say, are you looking for opportunities to raise money for your organization? They're going to say yes, or they're going to say no. Typically, if they say no, it's because they're getting funded by the government or by some source of funding outside of raising their own. If they're in need of raising funds, by golly, they're going to tell you. Trust me. So there are many options. So write your list of, let's say 40. Write your list of 40 of the organizations and businesses and all kinds of things that are out there to help people raise money. Now that excludes the individuals who might need money to help with medical bills or to help with traveling or transportation, whatever. There's always a reason someone needs money, right? So, okay, now the caveat is that with Scentsy, we are providing the funds through our commission. Now, there are some companies out there, some direct sales companies even, that provide the fundraising donation from the company itself. Scentsy and Velada are not that company, and that's okay. The reason I like that is because, one, it's personally coming from me, and I have the opportunity to provide the funds for that organization from my business. Okay, so I get to determine the percentage of my commission that I want to provide as a fundraising effort. I'm going to give you an example. This is only an example, and might be typical for some, maybe not typical for others. So for instance, if I was going to a organization and we were doing a fundraiser and I said, I will give you 20% of the sales or the net sales of your total, okay, of the fundraiser. So they've got 10 girls that go out and do selling and they raise $1,000 in sales, okay? I have to pay $1,000 to get the product. So I don't get a discount up front, okay? My discount comes from the commission check that I get once a month from Scentsy, from the Scentsy family. So out of the commission check, I would give them 20% of the $1,000. So that's $200, right? So a lot of times what I'll do is I will give them a kicker. So let's say they sell $2,000. If they do $2,000 in sales and it's within 1 month, I will give them an extra 5% on top of the 20. So I'll end up giving them 25%. So not only is it an incentive for the group to sell more, it's also an incentive for you because with Scentsy, we get a bonus when we hit 2,000 in sales on a monthly basis each month. So that's kind of how I work the percentage part. I know a lot of you have asked me about that. It is really completely up to you. It is your business. You are an independent consultant, not a dependent consultant, and you can determine how much you want to give. Now, there are some people that give the full amount of their commission. And as a consultant, you know what you get paid for as a commission. If you want to give the entire amount, then that's totally up to you. Now, typically what I will do is I'll set it up so that the fundraising funds are given to them after I get paid. So let's say the fundraiser ends at the end of May. And I'll tell them that you will get paid on or after the 14th of June because we get paid on the 10th of each month. So people know right up front how you're going to pay them and when. And it's pretty simple. So it's no different than having a regular party. It's no different than approaching someone to host a party. You got to approach them to run a fundraiser. And typically, if it's a large fundraiser and you have a lot of orders, I'll have the person maybe designate somebody to come help and package it up and sort them out. But other than that, it's really simple, guys. Don't make it worse than it is. Don't make it harder than it is. Fundraising is not rocket science. It's not hard. It's not something that needs to be thought through that much other than approaching the organization rather than an individual, and making sure that you understand that it's your commission that you're giving to them as the fundraising money. Again, not all direct sales companies are like that, and that's good. Each company does it their own way, to each his own, and that works for each company. So I'm not dissing it. I'm not approving it. It is what it is. So those are the most questions that I get in response to my fundraiser video. When you are packaging up the fundraising packets, primarily you're going to put catalogs in there based on the individuals that are selling. There are going to be some fundraisers that it's just a couple people selling. There's going to be some that you have 60 people selling. You also could have a fundraiser that's an event, so you have nobody but yourself selling. So it could be all of them. It can be none of them. It's so wide open with options. And I tell you to not make it harder than it is. And I think that's what most of you guys do, is you make it harder than it actually is. So I'm going to leave that video, or this video, at that. If you have more questions, leave them in the comment section below. I will try to respond to them at least in the comment section. I don't know that I'll do another video based on it unless I get enough questions that I haven't addressed yet. But that's fundraising, and like I said, I'll link up the two other videos here so that you can go back and refer to the other ones. And this is Fundraising 101, again, with the BNS channel. Have a good day. Bye.